Hey guys, MeLikeBigBoom here, and welcome to Unturned 3.13.11.0. This week's update added a few various nice little additions. Wow, I could have phrased that a little bit better. This update added various nice additions into the game this week, one of which includes a new weapon variant, I should say, as well as a ton of new aspects of the game that are being tracked for stats, as well as their associated achievements. We also have 2 new notes, a new gesture, new quality settings, and a few nice improvements and tweaks. So let's get right into it. First up, the new weapon variant. This is something that I was definitely not expecting and is pretty exciting. And it is the sawed-off Masterkey. So if you find yourself a regular Masterkey, which you can usually find around in the farms of PI in Washington, and they're just a double-barrel Masterkey shotgun, that's what it's called. They take 20 gauge shells. Anyway, if you find yourself a saw, you can go into the crafting menu and just chop the barrel off, and you can turn it into a sawed off. That is so cool. It's very interesting. We've never had any sort of crafting aspect to guns so far, and this should hopefully open up some doors to exciting new weapon crafting aspects in the future. So I don't know the difference between the two, to be honest. I mean, well, obviously one's got a shorter barrel than the other, but I suppose we're going to do our best to figure out the differences. Now, one thing that I did immediately notice is that it allows you now to put the sawed-off in your secondary slot. So a Masterkey, it cannot be put there. It won't let me put it there. Whereas, if you turn it into a sawed-off, you can put it in your secondary slot. So that, in and of itself, is super cool. So you can have, your Maple Strike over here, and you can shoot all these zombies and stuff. Actually, this is an Eagle Fire, I should say. And you can swap to your secondary, and then you can shoot all them from close range. So, you took them all out from long range. You want to breach this building here. You get your Masterkey. Boom! Destroyed him. Sent him out the window. Now that is awesome. One thing I do notice, and that is kind of expected, if you chop the barrel off of a gun, it is less accurate. So if you take a look at the spray pattern from this, or the spread of this, and then get the sawed off right here, the spread is quite a bit bigger. But anyway, that's the sawed-off Masterkey. I really like it. You guys should comment your opinions down below as well. Additionally, the votify command was added to a server, so you guys might know that the vote was removed. There was a lot of drama surrounding the vote command that was added last week. It turns out that the consensus was that people didn't like it. It could be kind of abused, so Nelson removed it, and now he's re-adding it new and improved. So now it can be toggled on a server. The creators of the server can choose whether or not they want the voting command to be on there. The UI of the voting command has been changed. I don't know what it's been changed to, but if it's been changed, I mean, we can safely assume that it's for the better. And additionally, the server owners have a lot of tweaking options for the voting command. They can change these things on the screen right now. They can change the pass cooldown, which is the delay for the vote caller after a successful vote has been called. So if they successfully boot a person off the server, it defaults they have 5 seconds before they can call another vote. And you can tweak that. You can set it to maybe 5 minutes or whatever, so that if they've successfully kicked somebody off the server, they have to wait 5 minutes before they can call another vote. For a failed cooldown, if they unsuccessfully kick somebody off the server, they have a minute before they can call another vote. Additionally, the vote duration defaults to 15 seconds, also tweakable. All of these things are tweakable, and that's just how long players have to vote. There's also the vote percentage, also tweakable, and right now it's set to 0.75, meaning that more than 75% of the people on the server need to vote yes before the person is successfully kicked. And also players, currently defaulted at 3, you can change it for the minimum players needed to call a vote. So minimum players like on the server. So if there's 2 people on the server, you can't vote kick your friend or whatever. Additionally, stats and achievements, a lot of them. Now whenever you craft an item or grow a plant, catch a fish, shoot something in the head or shoot and miss something, drive in a car or use your feet to walk, it is all being tracked and is put on the main menu. As you can see here, it says I've caught 0 fishes, at least, well, I've caught several fishes, but, this update came out, so now it's starting to track things. But if you click that, you can view some other things. I've crafted 1 item, that sawed-off Masterkey. I've killed 6, Jesus. Anyway, statistics. A lot more different things are being tracked as well. And there are achievements associated with them. Crafting, farming, fishing, headshots, sharpshooter, hiking, road trip achievements. All of those things are going to be on the screen right now, as well as their associated descriptions on what you need to do in order to unlock them. Lots and lots of cool new achievements for you to go get. And I have had all the achievements until this update came out, so I got to work hard to get now maximum achievements, because now I'm only at 77%. Back into the game, a highly requested change. You can now snap these makeshift buildables by holding control, and if you are rotating it, it will snap to, I don't know the degrees here, it looks like 15 degrees in any direction, so that'll allow you to make your makeshift creations slightly more uniform, I guess. So you can put that there, and then you can begin to snap this one like so, and they're just a lot more in line. It's a lot easier to make perfect walls and a perfect line, especially when it comes to making things perfectly vertical. You can do that a lot easier. I think my only suggestion is that it needs to be like global snapping, because right now it's all relative to your camera's position. So if you look left and right, then all your work in attempting to line things up perfectly has been ruined. Also, for the cinematographers out there, if you'd like to create some super slow panning shots, which I've been wanting to do for a very long time, if you hold control, you can move the camera really slowly. And then if you hold shift, it goes super quickly. Don't hold anything at all, it's medium, and control is nice and slow, so you can have some nice panning shots of this farmer zombie. Also, a new gesture, very cool. So for the past like 6 months, or no, even like a year now, we've only had surrender, wave, and point gestures, and now we have a salute gesture. This is my gesture of choice in the Grand Theft Auto series, and I like having it in Unturned. You can now salute people, so if your person who's in charge tells you to go raid this farm, you say, "Sir, yes, sir," and then you go and you do it. Except you don't have enough range to actually kill the zombies. Also, as I mentioned earlier, new quality settings. These are pretty cool. We can now adjust the intensity or the quality of sun shafts and ambient occlusion. So let me position myself. This is good right here. All right, so if you go into graphics, you can now see that we have sun shafts quality and ambient occlusion quality. So with those off, let me also turn off VSync so we can see this impact on my frame rate. If you look up in the top left, I'm currently getting 130 frames per second. Not half bad. With sun shafts on, I can tell you right now, that has no effect on your frame rate. So you can go ahead and set that on ultra for all you care. As you can see, I'm still getting, it dropped by, maybe 5 to 3 frames per second. Very, very minimal impact. And the difference between medium and ultra is not that great. So as you can see, we're looking at these sun shafts that are going through this window here and stuff like that. This is currently on medium, and setting it to ultra just kind of smoothens it a little bit and sharpens the edge here, as seen here. So if I toggle it off, it just looks kind of boring. And medium, high, and ultra. The differences are not that great. I would say you can set it on medium just to save some performance, but it's really not impacting you at all in the first place. Ambient occlusion is a little bit of a different story. Setting this on ultra does impact your performance quite a bit. Currently at 126, 124, 122, 126 frames per second, and if I set it on ultra, that drops down to 94 frames per second. Yeah, it looks like just sticking right at 94 frames per second. Now you can set it to high instead of ultra, and it impacts your performance quite a bit less. It was at 130 with it completely off, and is now at 107 with it on high. And what's nice is that the difference between high and ultra is not that great. I mean, you can notice it slightly, but in reality, if you're wanting to damage your performance by 15, 20 frames per second, just to get like this slight difference. I mean, keep in mind, we're looking at ambient occlusion is darkening crevices and holes and cracks in the world. So if you look at the corner between the wall of the house here and the floor, as well as in the crevices of this stove and the fridge and the roof and the ceiling here, if you look at those, it's just darkening that area here. So the difference between with it off and with it on, it's quite a bit. It makes the game look a lot better. but the difference between high and ultra is it's not that great. So definitely if you guys are looking for performance to looks ratio, I'd set it to high. It's not going to impact your performance all that much. Anyway, new settings, very nice. It's always nice to be able to customize more and more things in terms of graphics so that you can get the performance and the looks of the game that you want. Additionally, we have notes number 11 and 12. Don't know those locations yet. Not quite sure how I'm going to handle showing the locations of all the notes so far. There's also a sync command to share player save data between your servers. So, like if you are UncleLYHME or Unturned Rocks or whatever, you know, these server companies that have several Unturned servers, you can make it to where you can sync player save data between all those servers so people can hop on and off of your servers. I think that is pretty sweet. And the last improvement that I think is worth showing is that sirens on a police car no longer play when you exit the vehicle, but the lights will stay on. So if you're wanting to roleplay as a police officer or something and you press control, turn on the sirens, you're about to pull over a guy, he pulls over, what you would normally do is you turn off the sirens, you get out. But now, when you exit the vehicle, the sirens turn off, but the lights stay on. That is cool. That is cool. Lots of interesting stuff added in this week's update. If you guys would like to check out all of the minor tweaks and fixes that were not covered in this video, I'll put the full update post in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to rate, comment, subscribe, and do all that gibberish because MeLikeBigBoom is out.
Darling, time will fall back down to